Avoid castration. Now, this could be self-castration and or being castrated by the social matrix. And those could be highly related. People often self-castrate themselves because of the pressures of the social matrix. Don't let the Babylon matrix castrate you. And you can see on the link here, there's a glossary of some of my eccentric zap terms like Babylon matrix and mutants on the front page of the site if you ever want to consult that. Many forces seek your disempowerment. One of the most classic forms of castration for males or females is to keep your attention madly focused on the pursuit of a glittering external object, the haughty, money, social status, worldly power, consumer goods, etc. Like traveling through the wrong end of a telescope, you shrink as you pursue those objects. Like a ring wraith pursuing the precious, you wither and hollow out as you become ever more removed from your real power source, the neglected core of wholeness within. When you seek wholeness outside, it forever eludes your grasp, and you fragment and become weaker. I ask for so little. Just fear me, love me, do as I say, and I will be your slave. That was something that David Bowie said as the Goblin King Jareth in the movie Labyrinth. Love me, fear me, obey me, and I will be your leader, lover, guru, savior forever, is the most classic and deadly form of enchantment. Worshipping something or someone you see as more powerful than yourself is self-castration. The Sanskrit definition of God is a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. You are at the center of the circle, and so is everything else. If instead you worship an external savior, could be Taylor Swift, could be Donald Trump, whoever it is, maybe even Jesus, because from the Gnostic point of view, locating the Christ consciousness outside yourself is just another version of this cultic tendency to worship something outside yourself is more powerful and thereby to self-castrate. So if you worship an external savior and therefore place yourself outside the circle of the divine, looking in, then you betray your soul and descend into fundamentalist madness. In the relatively recent discovered Gnostic Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, "He will drink from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become he, and the things that are hidden will be revealed to him." The Gnostics understood the need to discover divinity from within rather than from without. If you worship a sacred text, savior, political leader, object of romantic infatuation, nation-state, ideology, church, object, or machine, then you become a hungry ghost, never able to be filled up. Power may be given away to an idea, an ideology, a fundamentalism, religious or secular, a movement, an addiction, a romance, an exciting, dangerous activity, and so forth. Sometimes it's a multi-level marketing scheme I've noticed that people give themselves away to. There are myriad things that people give their power away to. You automatically disempower yourself when you inflate another person into a god. This happens with romantic infatuation, guru worship, fundamentalist worship of a savior, populist fascist worship of a dear leader, and other relationships that have an unhealthy asymmetry of power. What causes so many people to give their power away to a force that wants to dominate them? I speculate about that in my own work on psychopathy, called Foxes and Reptiles, Psychopathy and the Financial Meltdown of 2008. I have a theory of the often astonishing appeal of psychopaths, cult leaders, super salesmen, and demagogues of various sorts that uses magnetism as analog. Most people are highly fragmented and oppressed by what Jung called psychic entropy, the anxious tape loops and other distracted thoughts and fantasies that crowd their attentional space. When a person of single-minded focus and confidence appears, it is analogous to placing a powerful magnet below a sheet of paper on which iron filings are scattered. The magnet immediately organizes the scattered filings into a coherent pattern that reflects its magnetic fields. A cult of personality is born when a dominant personality structures scattered personalities from the outside. The scattered feel an immense relief from dealing with psychic entropy. They crave further contact and submission to the magnetic personality who can relieve them of their default state of psychic entropy. People are similarly motivated when they give their power away to a fundamentalist religion, a new diet, a multi-level marketing or financial scheme led by a charismatic leader, a conspiracy theory, or a dominating partner. People who get sucked into cults have higher IQs than average. Being more mental, they can more easily get conned by a mental construct that simpler but streetwise folk can see through in a heartbeat. When conspiratists are given personality tests, the strongest correlate is narcissism. They're one of the select who've taken the red pill, are in the know and onto the puppet masters, and therefore are far superior to the sheeple. And so you can tell somebody has fallen into this when they use the phrase wake up, which assumes that they're awake, and which they almost never are. They're entitled to be contemptuous of the sleeping sheeple. There are, of course, dangerous actual conspiracies at work in our world, but the conspiracists are usually the last to know because they've given away their power to faux conspiracies. You can see my YouTube, Problems with the Conspiratist Worldview. Resentful folk are easily conned by populist leaders who can channel their resentment into rage against fill in the blank. The Jews, elites, the deep state, another political party or nation state, the opposite gender, the differently gendered, etc. As soon as there is such a scapegoat, the resenters feel elevated. It's not their fault they're incels, in debt, etc. It's because of the fill in the blank. Now the complexities of life are satisfyingly structured from the outside. Personal shortcomings and anxieties are redefined as victimizations. Instead of the daunting task of working on themselves, they can simply conform with the leader or group to fight the oppressors. Even in cases where there are actual oppressors, you would be giving the enemy your power if you define yourself as the one or the group who is against fill in the blank. Are you part of a subculture that is supposedly fighting the system, but where there is high conformity within the subculture or supposedly rebellious group? Are you nervously scanning social media to see how you're doing compared to others? Do celebrities seem more important, glowing, and alive than non-celebrities? Do exceptionally beautiful people seem like gods? Remind yourself that 100% of celebrities and the exceptionally beautiful have to use the bathroom, and like all mortals, are subject to aging, illness, misfortune, and death. To what or to whom do you give away your power? Consider this an auspicious time to reclaim it.